FilmCrazyAdam here. I'm about to go see Pacific Rim. Now, this is the part of the vlog movie review where I tell you how I feel before I go see the movie, so you know where my thoughts are and where my mind is at before I go into it, and then I shall give you my thoughts after I see the movie. Well, it's been a long week. This week sucked. So, right now my mindset is just really gone. My mind is gone. I want this week to be over, and I need something to cleanse the palate. So right now, I want to go see something entertaining. I want to go see something interesting. So I'm going to go see a movie about giant robots. Now, so right off the bat, I'm going in, my expectations are very low. I just want some kind of escapism right now. So, right now, expectations are low. You don't have to do much to impress me right now, okay? That's the type of mood that I'm in. That's number one. Number two is I'm a huge fan of anime. If you haven't figured it out by my Helsing poster and various other t-shirts and stuff I wear, I'm a huge anime fan. So I'm all about the giant robots, Gundam Wing, all those other giant robot things. Number three, I grew up loving Godzilla. Huge Godzilla fan growing up. Got like all the movies on like Hong Kong dubs and whatnot. So and number four, this movie has Ron Perlman in it. I am contractually obligated to go see every movie that man is in because he is such a great actor. The movies he's in might not be so good, but he is good in those movies. So this movie right now has four things going for it. Okay? Four things. I am very biased towards this movie right now. I want to be entertained. I want to escape from this long, hellish week. So, listen up, Pacific Rim. If you F this up, I don't have any words for it if you F this up. Because I am so biased going into this movie. I am an easy target. If you F this up, then there is no hope for humanity. How are you going to F this up? Giant robots, giant monsters, robots beating up giant monsters. Although I will say this, every single new trailer for this movie that I've seen makes me progressively less excited to see this movie. That being said, I'm going to get going, I'm going to go see this movie. I'll get back to you guys. Motherfucker. God, are you f***ing kidding me? I can't believe they f***ed that up. This is bullshit. I can't believe they f***ed that up. I mean, it doesn't take much to make a giant robot movie, and they proved that with this movie. See, you know what? I'm not going to go into it right now. It's 1:20 a.m. I'm really tired. I've got two roommates who got to be up in a few hours, so I can't really go into the review right now because I will end up yelling. And I can't, it would be a dick move to wake them up. Anyway, so I'm going to bed. I'll finish this review in the morning. Okay, so I slept on it, which is good for the movie, because I was not happy with what I saw last night. Granted, I was tired and I had had a long week, but here's the thing with this movie. If you're a fan of anime, it'll feel familiar to you. It'll feel very, very, very familiar to you if you watch anime. My God, is this going to feel like an anime. It is an anime. This movie is a giant robot anime, and I will point out the ways it is in a second. So, if you like watching anime, if you like watching Gundam Wing and Martian Successor Nadesco and Neon Genesis Evangelion, oh my God, will this feel so familiar. First time watching this movie, you're going to be like, I know everything that's going to happen ever in this movie. I know every single thing that's going to happen before it happens. Oh my god. Oh my god, was this... For an anime fan like me, this was so fucking cliche. It was so predictable. It was just so obvious. Everything from the characters and the... Oh my god, the characters plucked straight from a TV show, man. So obvious. I've seen these characters. I know these characters intimately by name and by their hair color. In anime, if you're not a fan of anime, then this might be news to you, but in any given anime series, any color in the visible spectrum can be used as a natural hair color. I've seen people with blue hair, with green hair, with, oh my god, with pink hair. These are characters. These people in this movie are characters that I've known for years. Oh man, I'm digressing already. So, if you like watching anime, specifically giant robot anime, I think you're going to be mildly amused but ultimately bored because it's nothing new. It is nothing new. Giant robot animes and giant robot stories have been done so much better in so many different ways. This is just boring for somebody like me. Now, if you've never seen a giant robot movie, if you've never seen an anime, then there's a good chance you might enjoy this movie, I think. You'll be amused, you'll think it's interesting, because here's the thing, there's not that many giant robot movies out there, at least American-wise. We have Robot Jox from 1990, which, right away, people are going to see the similarities about people piloting robots. The way they pilot robots in Pacific Rim, and you've seen it in the trailers, the pilots have these suits, and then they move, and the robot moves the way that the pilots move. And so that's how they pilot these robots, just by moving. It's not joysticks, it's not pedals, it's actual body movement. Now, this movie, for those who don't know, is about giant alien monsters, not from another planet, from another dimension, that open a portal to Earth in the South Pacific, hence why it's called the Pacific Rim. And you know what? God, I hate these movies that the title tells you nothing. I hate those movies that they're just generic words, like The Sixth Day. What the hell is that about? Again, I think I'm kind of jaded because of what I've watched beforehand. I've watched Godzilla, I've watched a lot of anime, so I already had an idea of what a giant robot story should be going into it. I've watched a lot of series. Generally, though, those series run between 13 and 50 episodes. And so you have a lot more time for character and story development in a 13, 50 episode series as opposed to a 2-hour, 11-minute movie. But, to be fair, 2 hours and 11 minutes is basically 7 episodes of one of those series. So half of a 13-episode series. And I've seen way more character development and way more three-dimensional characters just in the first episode of any given anime series than I've seen in this entire movie. So, to put my stamp of approval on it, I don't approve of this movie. I think it was stupid. I really think it was a waste of my time. I knew what it was going into it. I knew what to expect while going into it. Now, not to say that it wasn't visually interesting. Del Toro kind of has a very interesting looking movies, but it wasn't that great. The dialogue was so bad. Oh, man. Alright, I'm not really getting into spoilers. No, I'm not getting into spoilers. Alright, here's how the movie starts out. The first 15 minutes of that movie, I think it was 15 minutes, of that movie is just images flashing on screen and exposition. Just somebody talking to you about the court, like something that happens over 7 years, just talking to you for 10 to 15 minutes, and just images that don't always make sense. And they're really fast, and you're not always sure what you're seeing. So right away, I got pissed off in the movie because I'm like, what the hell is this? Why can't we just jump into the story? Why do I have to exposit all this stuff? Because you could have just shown the monsters invading. You could have shown them attacking a city. Instead, we have to talk about it, and we see that one shot from the trailer where the monster grabs onto the Golden Gate Bridge. They talk about the decimation of the city. They showed an aerial shot of the Golden Gate Bridge destroyed, but they didn't show anything of San Francisco. after 10 to 15 minutes of exposition, we meet the narrator and one of our main characters, who is this pilot of a giant robot called a Jaeger. Now, for the record, this is minutia. I know it is. But the giant monsters which first arrived and made landfall in San Francisco, USA, are called kaiju, a Japanese name. The giant robots which were designed and manufactured, granted designed by everyone, but manufactured and primarily the program was started in America, are called Jaegers, which is a German name. Again, complete minutia. But why do we have Japanese monsters and German robots in an American, when everything is made in America? Minutia! Digression! Anyway, so for some reason, this piloting, it's too much for just one person. Which, they never really explained that. They never gave a good enough reason. Oh no, it was just too much for one pilot. So we have two pilots. And the way that they pilot these things is that there's a neural link between them. They call it a neural handshake. So they're in each other's minds. Now, whenever they had this neural handshake, I was like, it doesn't seem like they're in each other's minds. Because, alright, there's an episode of Star Trek Voyager where there are these three characters that literally are in each other's minds. And it feels like they are because they keep finishing each other's sentences. Okay? So, but this one, it was just like, okay, neural handshake, going online. Okay, they're linked. Okay, it's like that scene in Neon Genesis Evangelion where Rey and Shinji are doing that DDR Twister game to get in sync. Again, I don't get it. Why did we need two pilots? They never explained it. It never made sense. But we need two pilots, evidently. So the main character and his brother are pilots. They go out on a mission and the brother gets killed. And this traumatizes the main character. I can't do it anymore. My brother got killed. I can never be a pilot again. And so he goes off and just kind of drops out of the military. And he starts working on this great wall. The new idea is that we're going to build a great wall because here's the thing: the monsters, these aliens, they evidently have some kind of telepathic link, or they text each other, because each one that comes through the portal is progressively more badass. Again, like the angels from Neon Genesis Evangelion. They're just more adapted and more badass than the last one, and more adapted to kill us. Here's another ripoff. These monsters are the aliens from Independence Day. They arrive at a planet, they kill the indigenous species, and then suck the planet dry, and then move on to another one. Exactly like Independence Day. And exactly like Neon Genesis Evangelion. And exactly like Martian Successor Nadesco, where we're being invaded by aliens, and so we made giant robots to fight them. So he goes off, and the coastal cities, the new plan here, because the Jaegers are becoming less and less effective because we're not evolving with our fighting tactics, but the aliens are becoming more badass as they're coming over, so we're just becoming less effective. So funding is cut from the giant robot program and being put into this Great Wall program. And so the main character gets work on building this Great Wall, which evidently was a complete, utter fucking waste of time, because at one point they're working on the Great Wall, and for some reason there's a TV in the middle of, in one of the rooms, break room, whatever. So there's a TV in the break room, and they're watching a live news broadcast of a monster attack in Australia where it just tears through one of these walls like it was tinfoil. And literally a bunch of the guys goes, "Oh, what do we do this for then?" Everyone in the theater laughed, including me. I'm like, "Oh, come on." Because, that was pointless. Why did we do that? The monsters could just break through it. Kid you not, that's what the guy did on screen. God. So the head of the military, or the head of the Jaeger program, who is also this stupid captain from Prometheus, comes up to our main character and he's like, "We need you, son. You're the best pilot we have. I can't do it. My brother died. I'm traumatized. Can never do it again. Son, do you want to die here or do you want to die in a giant robot? Okay. I kid you not. It was so bad and so stupid and just... Oh my God. God, such bad writing. Who writes like that? Who talks like that? Oh. Man, that was so cliche and bad. Also, you can find plenty of crap like that in an anime series too. Just, I'm gonna give you a half-assed motivational speech, and that will completely turn around everyone's opinion. You know what? Yes, let's die for no apparent reason. Let's go into certain death battle. Why? Because it's the heroic and right thing to do, and because he gave an interesting speech. God dang it. This was so silly. Alright, I gotta talk about the characters now. I talked about the main character who's kind of a loser and an idiot and one-dimensional and pathetic and has issues. Then you have, oh my God, every character is so stereotypical. I mean, pathetically stereotypical. Sadly stereotypical. You have the main character who's the tragic, feel sorry for me because somebody I know and love died. You know, and it's partially my fault. But I'm going to seek redemption and, you know, come back to win in the end. And then there's and then he arrives at the mech warehouse where there's only 4 mechs left. And there's this girl there. Oh my God, 2 seconds. I was like, there's your love interest and there's your co-pilot. Because this guy needs a co-pilot because, again, 2 pilots and 1 giant robot. And so... in 2 seconds, like, it was so obvious that they were going to be a couple and that they were going to pine for each other. And she, of course, is the adopted daughter of the general or the colonel or whatever. And of course, he's going to be like, no, you can't have my daughter as your pilot, even though she's the best choice for the job. And he's, of course, a hard ass. And of course, he's got a tragic past. And of course, she's really, really good and like the answer to everyone's prayers. And then you have these 2 goofy idiots, like the smartest minds that we have to combat these monsters, to like figure out what's going on. It's Bulk and Skull from Power Rangers. I you not. I mean, it's not the actors, but I mean, it's literally those characters. It's Bulk and Skull from Power Rangers. That's who helps us save the world. Oh man. And then Ron Perlman, how'd you let me down? God. At one point, they of course need to find like a black ops, black market guy, and so of course the colonel knows. I know this guy. I've worked with him. He's really, you know, he knows his thing, but don't ever trust him. And of course they go to him, and of course he's like this kind of just goofy guy, but. You know, he tries to come across as badass and like, I will just skull you. But he's just so, whatever. He's just so slimy. He's so one-dimensional. All of these characters are so one-dimensional. I don't know if I'm giving a good review here. You know, I'm just whining because it was just so bad. Now again, trying to get on topic. It was bad from my perspective, but that's because I'm a huge anime fan. And I've seen this story many times. I've been pulling examples from different stories to tell you, like, oh yeah, they're ripping off this. This is so similar to that. Because I've seen this done before. I've seen it done way better before. This movie was generic. It was predictable. It wasn't special. I've seen it before and I've seen it done way better before. So, as an anime fan and a fan of Japanese culture, thought this movie was a waste of my time. Now, not to say that many people won't find enjoyment in it. Did I find the fight scenes interesting? Yeah, they were kind of cool, but honestly, you see the fight scenes in the trailer. You really do. Those are the fight scenes. They're not super long, and you see all the best parts where like they pull out the blades, and he's like using the boat as a baseball bat. Those are the fight scenes, man. You've seen it all in the trailers. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of fight scenes. there's one at the beginning, and then there's about 90 minutes where nothing happens in terms of giant robots. There is a scene where one of the pilots freaks out and almost blows up the hangar because she doesn't realize what's going on inside the giant robot. But that's not a fight scene. That's just they're practicing in the giant robot, but the giant robot's not really moving. So, if you want to see giant robot fights, watch the very beginning of the movie, watch the very end of the movie. That's it. Everything else in between are just characters, talk. A lot of exposition, a lot of goofiness, a lot of just bantering, and again, really just predictable stuff, really cliche stuff, really stuff that could have been done way better. Way better. I will say that the best part of this movie was Ellen McLean, who is the voice of Gladys from the Portal games. She plays the computer voice in the main hangar in this movie, so that was kind of cool. That was about it. That being said, if you've never seen a giant robot movie before, if you've never seen an anime before, go see this movie. You'll love it. You'll think it's really great. Honestly, I didn't like this movie. Was it a bad movie? It was okay. It was an okay movie. But I'm just so jaded at this point that I didn't like it. I've seen better. Way better. Way better. So, yeah, if you want to see a summer blockbuster alien invasion, this movie, this is this year's Battleship. Okay? That is the best way to describe this movie. Pacific Rim is this year's Battleship. If you like Battleship, go see this movie. It's an alien invasion movie where we fight back with heavy machinery. There's a lot of hand-waving. There's a lot of just go with it. There's a lot of, we're not going to explain it to you, except in exposition. So yeah, I'm just repeating myself at this point. If you want to go see this summer's alien invasion movie, go see Pacific Rim. If you've never seen an anime before, go see Pacific Rim. This is, it was okay. The dialogue was pretty bad, but I mean, overall, I guess it was okay. So, yeah, there's a lot of people who are going to like this movie. I didn't, but not to say that other people won't. Not to say that it's a horrible movie. It's not a bad movie. It's an okay movie. So, that being said, I got a few things to do today, and I'll see you when I see you.